Right. So everyone get ready, because today we are diving deep into Google's AI, you know, master plan for world domination.
Oh, yeah.
You've probably seen the headlines: Google 2025 AI, this AI, that.
Right.
But we're going beyond, the typical news reports,
Hmm.
and we're looking at the strategies that Google's been keeping pretty quiet about.
Yeah, under wraps.
And this date, March 8th, 2025, keeps popping up.
Uh-huh.
So something's going on. We think a lot of these projects that they've been, working on in secret are going to hit the public.
Mm-hmm.
And to figure all this out, we've got a stack of sources here.
Okay.
We've got official announcements from Google.
Yeah.
We've got expert analysis. We even found some interesting chatter on X, formerly Twitter.
Right.
And it's really fascinating to see what people are saying out there.
It is. And it's important to look at these hidden strategies, not just, from a tech perspective, but just as like a user, Google impacts so many people's lives, it's hard to even quantify.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's jump into it.
Let's do it.
One of the biggest things that we saw is this Gemini 2.0,
Yeah.
and specifically like the Flash version of it.
Yes.
And I was looking at some benchmarks, and this thing's a speed demon.
It's crazy fast.
Google's saying it can process information faster than anything else out there.
Yeah, and that speed, it might not seem like a big deal at first, but if you think about it,
Right.
it's kind of like how Google, won the early search engine wars. They were just faster than everybody else.
Right.
So now imagine like searching for something super complex, and in like a split second,
Yeah.
you get this like beautiful visual answer with maps, photos, maybe even a video, all personalized to you.
Wow.
That's the power we're talking about here.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, and people on X are going nuts over this already.
Oh, I bet.
Some people are comparing it to like the Star Trek computer.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, whoa.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah, and that's what's so interesting. Like, what will Google actually do with this speed?
Right.
How will it change how we even use Google products? It's a big question.
Yeah, that's the mystery we're trying to get to the bottom of.
Exactly. And speaking of mysteries,
Okay.
AI mode.
Yes, AI mode.
This new feature that's been kind of rolling out under the radar.
Super quietly.
Yeah, Google's being very hush-hush about it. They keep calling it experimental.
Right.
But some clues are starting to come out, and from what we've seen so far, it seems like it has the potential to, like, hyper-personalize your entire digital world. Recommendations that are so good, it's like Google knows you better than you know yourself.
Mm-hmm.
AI that can, like, help you write emails, maybe even code.
Wow.
Voice assistants that can actually hold, like, real back-and-forth conversations.
Wow, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Because then, you start to think, well, what does this mean for, like, website owners and stuff?
Right.
And I saw on X that, like, even SEO experts are like, wait a minute, what's going on here?
Yeah, they're used to, tweaking websites and trying to understand Google's algorithm.
Right.
But this is something else.
Right. And I even saw a couple people saying, like, the old playbook's out the window. We don't know what to do anymore.
Right.
So this is uncharted territory.
Yeah, and this actually, leads into another big shift we've been noticing, and that's with the search algorithm itself.
Okay.
Google's been increasingly using AI to generate what they call these overviews in the search results.
Okay.
So instead of just like a list of links now, you often see like this rich visual summary at the top.
Right.
With like key facts, images, sometimes interactive elements.
I've definitely seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, from an SEO perspective, that makes things even more complicated.
Of course.
How do you optimize for that?
Right.
And it makes you wonder, is Google moving away from connecting us with information and more towards like controlling the information we see?
Right.
It's a pretty big question, especially as AI gets more and more powerful.
Yeah. That is a really interesting thought.
Yeah, it is. And it's one worth thinking about.
Okay, well, let's maybe get away from the philosophy for a second and talk about something a little bit more concrete.
Okay.
The Pixel phone.
Yes. The Pixel.
Because we saw that Google's been dropping some hints about some pretty major AI upgrades coming to the Pixel.
Yeah, but they've been super vague about the details.
Right.
So, we can speculate.
Okay.
Maybe things like cameras that can automatically, like, adjust settings, depending on what you're trying to take a picture of. Or even, like, real-time translation as you're talking to someone who speaks a different language.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Now, I did see on X that people are, like, losing their minds over this.
Oh, yeah, the rumor mill is going crazy.
Yeah, like, way beyond what you just said.
Oh, I bet.
Like, they're saying the Pixel's going to have AI features that we can't even imagine yet.
I mean, well, whether or not the rumors are true, the big question is, like, how will Google use AI to make the Pixel stand out? They've always been about innovation, but this seems like they're trying to create like a totally different kind of user experience.
Yeah, like the next level.
Yeah, exactly. And that actually reminds me of this book, The Innovators.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
Have you read it?
I haven't gotten around to it yet. No.
You should check it out. It's really fascinating.
Okay.
It talks about Google's history, their culture of like experimentation and secrecy.
Right.
And it's like they've always been building towards this AI-powered future.
Yeah, they've always been kind of ahead of the game.
Right, exactly. They're not just following trends, they're creating them.
Yeah.
And all this stuff we've been talking about, these hidden strategies, these secret projects,
Right.
that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. So if 2025 is going to be the year of Google AI, the question for all of you listening is, are you ready?
Because it's coming.
Yeah, it's coming, whether we're ready or not.
That's right.
So buckle up.
Buckle up.
It's going to be an interesting ride.
It is.